As your transformation coach, that is what I'm here to do, is to help you connect, close, and clear the gaps from where you are to where you're trying to be, where you want to be. How we do that is we have to start with the clarity phase. We have to get extreme clarity. Then we have to learn how to effectively communicate on what we're clear about. And then we can walk in our utmost confidence in everything that we do. That's the goal. So today I just want to wrap to you guys on this. What are you giving permission to? And let me just give context to this. So one of my daughters had asked me, "Hey Dad, is Santa Claus real? Santa Claus real?" And I said, "Do you believe he's real?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Then he's real." And that's the truth. That is the truth. What you believe is what will be your reality. And I'll say that again. What you believe is what will be your reality. And the reason I titled, "What are you giving permission to?" is for that very reason. Because you have to understand everything that has happened, is happening, and will happen in your life is all a matter of what you're giving permission to. That's the thing. It's all about what you're allowing. Because nobody can alter your reality unless you give them permission to. I need you to understand that. And I'm going to repeat that. Nobody can alter your reality unless you give them that permission. Now let's put this in context. I just told you my daughter had asked me about Santa Claus, and if he was real or not. And my response to her was, "Do you believe he's real?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Then he's real." It's the same thing with God. Not everybody believes in God. I'm not out to try to convince anybody either. That's not the goal. That's not the purpose. But the truth of the matter is that whatever you believe will be your reality. It's really like that when Jesus asked the disciples, "Who do you say I am?" I know who they say I am, but who do you say I am? Because that's the only thing that matters. And that's real talk for you. So what I'd like you to do is throughout the course of the remainder of this year, I want you to really sit down and think about what you're giving permission to. In essence, what are you giving permission to in your faith, in your family, with your fitness, with your finances? Who are the people you're allowing in your ear? What are the things that they're saying that you're allowing to yourself to digest? See, because people can say whatever they want. That's their freedom of speech. That's not the purpose of it. You have no control over that. You have no control over what people say. You have no control over what people do. Where your control comes in is to what are you allowing in? That's where the permission comes in. Think of it just like this. You ever see a vampire movie? This is actually a good example. Vampires, if you ever seen a vampire movie, if they're at your door or their window or anything like that, they typically just can't come in. You have to let them in. But what they'll do is they'll try to coax you, or they'll try to deceive you, make them seem like they're not the vampire, right? Until you let them in. You've given them the permission. That's the same thing with the enemy. The enemy doesn't have control. The enemy knows how to manipulate. The enemy knows how to deceive, detour you, and make it seem like it's not what it is. But you, who have the power, have to give that permission for the enemy to do what he does. And the enemy is the enemy. That is your biggest enemy, is your inner me. So the things that you allow to give permission in your life, the things that you allow into your life, is a direct reflection of you, is a direct reflection of what you're allowing to accept. So what I'm saying is don't get mad at other people when they make a statement. Don't be mad at other people when they do certain things. How you react to it is all that matters. So I'd love to hear some of your examples. If you guys have examples of, some of the things you're allowing permission in. We talked about the Santa Claus thing with my daughter. We've talked about Jesus asking the disciples, listen, who do you say I am? Because that's the only thing that matters. And this goes in every aspect of your life. And like I said, I challenge you to take these last couple of days, sit down, be isolated, be by yourself, and be like, all right, what am I giving permission to? Like, in my finances, am I allowing people to tell me this? Am I doing this? Am I putting money away? Am I investing? Like, what are my beliefs in that area? Because the other end of it is relationships. Relationships is everything. Your relationship with God, your relationship with your family, your friends, right? Relationships dictate everything, but those relationships also need permission, right? If you're embarking upon a relationship with a man or woman, you have to have permission. If you're going to go out on a date, or if you're going to wife them up or husband them up or whatever the case is, it's a permission thing, right? See, we can all make it can be so simple, but we make it hard again. And I am big on simplifying things, keeping it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate this stuff. But I'm here to emphasize and stress to you on this Christmas Eve is that you have the power. I've said it before, I'll say it over and over and over again in every one of my videos. The kingdom is inside of you. You have the power. That's what was given to you by God, to be a creator. But what comes along with being a creator is having that permission slip. So now, the other end of that spectrum is this. Okay, let's talk a lot about the law of polarity, right? Which states there has to be an opposite for that actual thing. So, for example, love, hate, dark, light. You have to be able to discern, and you have to be clear. That's where this process of working together comes into play. In order to have a transformation from where you are to where you want to be, you have to start with being clear. You have to start with kind of cleaning out your mindset. Because you can't get over here if you're trying to bring in some of the bad thoughts that you have over here. And it's all subjective, right? What might be bad to you might not be bad to someone else. I understand that. But whatever the case is, you got to be clear on where you stand. And then when you're clear on where you stand, we can figure out how to effectively communicate that to everyone around you in your life, but most importantly, starting with how to communicate it to yourself. Because if you haven't understood this by now, everything, everybody, everything that circles around you is something that you're pulling in, something that you're attracting. And I know that can be very hard to digest sometimes, because like, Joe, this happened to me. I didn't ask for that. You did. You did. You just don't understand how you did. That's where the clarity has to come in. You did ask for it. I'm not debating that maybe you didn't want it, but some way, shape, or form you had asked for it in your subconscious, in your mindset, and some of your beliefs. It's like this one, I'll give you an example. This one, I think it was a video I saw the other day, and this woman said, listen, I need to protect myself. My husband saw, it was on some off the chart stuff she was talking about. My husband saw this, and he feels like he's got to protect himself. And the guy said, well, okay, well, if you feel you need to protect yourself, then go ahead and protect yourself. But understand, if you feel and truly believe you have to protect yourself from, and it wasn't like a burglar or something like that, it was just like a spiritual realm thing. And said, if you feel you have to protect yourself from this, then do so. But understand that God, the universe, is going to give you that opposite, right? So if you believe there's a demon, then there's going to be a demon. Then it has to give you that. Everything is working for your good. For your good. Essentially, that means everything is going to work around what you believe. So I try to get out of the mindset of a good and bad, you know. It's not about judgment. It's really not. It's about what you're giving permission to, because what you're giving permission to will show up in your life. But as it shows up in your life, you understand there has to be two sides of it. That's the way the game of life works. There's two sides of it. And we have to maybe reevaluate some of the interpretations that we have about this stuff. You know, we talk about darkness and we talk about light. Well, you do need both of them. Understand that. You need both of those. Flowers start off in the darkness, right? Until they can come up in the light, but the growth happens in the darkness. God even said, let there be light. So if there had to have been light being let in, that means it had to start in the dark. So you have to understand these laws. You have to understand not just the languages of Spanish, English. You got to learn the language of the universe, how God speaks to you. And as I said, God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But the way he does it might not be the same. So you can't box him in. Don't do that. But ultimately, he has created you in his image. So I'm just trying to break this down for you so you understand what I mean by what are you giving permission to. He created you in his image, which you guys probably already know this part, right? If he is a creator and he created you in his image, that means he created you to be a creator. If you are a creator, then you have to allow the creation to happen. You have to allow that creation to happen. So for this year coming up, it's really going to be about, for me, it's about self-mastery, mastering myself. Because as I understand everything that shows up in my life is a reflection of me, then it just makes sense. Like, well, why am I trying to work here and there and do all this and stuff when I need to just be working with myself? Right? Don't look outwardly, look inwardly. Because everything you need is inside of you. You are good enough. You truly, truly are good enough. You just have to find a way to master self. And that's why we're here. That's our calling. That's our purpose. We all have different ways and gifts on how we're going to do that. But ultimately, all of our goals are to master ourselves. Love thyself. And then love thyself like I love thy neighbor. Because thy neighbor is a direct reflection of self. So if you guys catch this, I'm telling you, this is going to open up so many doors for you, not just for the next coming year. It's going to open up doors for you for the rest of your life. This is going to help you build up generations as the kingdom kids, I call it. But in actuality, we are all kingdom kids. We are, because we're from the kingdom. But we have to adapt that kingdom mindset. We have to get the proper kingdom interpretation, clarity, so we can communicate effectively and then move confidently. Right? Confidence is having a trust. It's like, listen, I know I got this. And where's trust and where's confidence come from? Repetition. But the old saying used to be, practice makes perfect. But it really doesn't. Practice makes permanent. Because you could be practicing something not the proper way, and then you permanently know how to do it that way. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. Again, and this whole conversation came up because my daughter had asked me that question about Santa Claus. And I gave her the most honest answer that I can give. If you believe Santa is real, then he is real. That is truth. That is truth, 100% truth. So whether somebody tells you they're real or not, be okay with that. That's none of your business. That is none of your business. And this is the message I want to get to our youth. Is that, yeah, you have to learn how to think yourself, but you have the control. You have the power. You can manifest whatever you want into your life. 100%. And as the older we get, right, I always say it's a lot easier to mold a brain than have to retrain a brain. But honestly, can you do it at an older age? Absolutely, 100%. If you're hungry and you're committed and you're open to the possibility, then you can do anything at any time, because we are all God's children. So you have the capabilities. One person isn't chosen more than the other person. As I've told you before, the chosen ones are the ones who choose to be chosen. The chosen ones who are ones who are open to the possibilities of, hey, maybe I have to rethink some of the things that I've been taught. Maybe I have to go back to the drawing board. Maybe I have to say I don't know everything, which hopefully all of you know you don't know everything, which I don't know everything. But that's what makes it fun. If you knew everything, then what would be the purpose of life anyway? So that's a given. But we do have to go back and understand that some things we might have to rethink. Or maybe we don't. But the bottom line of this conversation is that whatever you're giving permission to in your life is what's going to reflect your reality. I think there's over 300, 400 religions, something like that, even more than that. It's not that people are right or wrong. I do believe there's one divine truth. I do think it could be a lot easier than what it's led to be. But that's my truth. So in our workings together, it's not to be clear, it's to give you clarity, communication, and confidence. It's not to convince. That's not what I'm looking for. You just have to be open to the possibilities. We talk about where you're at. We get clarity on where you're at. We focus on what's gotten you there. We focus on where you want to be. And we focus on how to get you there. That's it. This is why I can work with anyone. Mine is not a demographic. Mine is not a gender. Mine is not an age group. Mine is a matter of, are you hungry and open to the possibilities, and can you be coached? And I'm the type, like, listen, you can show me stuff. I'm always open to the possibilities. Because I'm seeking one thing in my life. I'm seeking one universal thing, and that's divine truth. As I tell you every video, I ask God to open up my eyes and my ears and my hearts to the steps that He has ordered for me. I understand that the power dwells inside of me. I understand who the ultimate power is source up here, which I call God. But I understand that I have the ability to manifest, control my reality to an extent. And as Jesus said, those who understand the true interpretations of my word will never taste death. If you catch that interpretation, then you'll understand the power that you have. But as always, I'm not going to go super long, but I wanted you guys to understand this on this Christmas Eve, whether you celebrate it or not. It's what are you giving permission to in your life? That's what matters. That's all that matters. We are all seeking something. We are all trying to figure this out. It's not to condemn anybody. Nobody's better than anyone else. We are all one unit. You're like, can it be that simple? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You need to learn the true laws of how this thing works, and then you'll see the power that you have. You will be able to break free. I don't care what's going on in the world. I don't care about a recession, a depression, oppressions, all of this stuff. Your reality is your reality. So when everything, and I'm sure some of you can attest to this, everything around you could be going astray, could be going crazy, and you are at peace. That's a great place to be. Because that person understands that what they see, they can easily switch around with a couple of different mindset shifts. You guys remember I used that analogy of reorganizing your house. I've done this plenty of times. You know, you've been somewhere so long, you're like, oh man, this is the same thing, man. This is over and over and over again. It's just tired of looking at it like this. You move a couch over here, you move a couch over there, change a picture here, change a picture there, empty out some of your clutter. You're like, woo, this looks like a whole new spot right here. And you ain't do nothing but just rearrange some of the things in your house. Well, this is your house. All of this is your house. And some of the things you need to rearrange in that house. But if you do that and you're open to the possibilities of doing that, and you're not just one-sided, you're not on a fixed mindset, you're not thinking you know everything, and you're looking for the solution, then you will be able to change that house around in no time. That's fun. That is super fun to me. Like, wait, everything that's going on in my life right now, maybe some things aren't the way I thought it would be in this, but I got the power. I can change this right away. Oh man, I like this game. And to me, that's truth. To me, that's the meaning of life for me. And every day, I am filling up my mind, my body, my soul with that. Because that's what I give permission to.